Hi, welcome to my video and welcome to another episode of Pandemic Cooking. Today we are making Aloo Shimla Mirch, which is a very simple vegetable side dish made from potato and green bell pepper or green capsicum as it's often called in India. It was featured in my How to Make Roti video and so many of you asked about it, so here it is, and I really hope that you enjoy this recipe. Today's recipe starts with a little bit of vegetable oil. We're going to heat this up over medium-high heat and add some roughly chopped onion. You don't need to wait for the oil to heat up. In fact, you probably shouldn't. That's actually quite unsafe. Just add the onion and start moving it around. You can use any type of onion that is available to you. I had some red onion left over from something else, but you could use a white onion if that's what you had on hand. If you are Jen, this is where you're going to start your recipe by directly adding the green bell pepper. You're going to skip the onion and make sure that you keep things moving because we are going to work on medium-high heat for most of this recipe. Next comes a little bit of grated ginger. I used about a 1-inch piece. If you're Jen, you're going to omit this crushed garlic, so you might want to add a little more ginger. And again, keep things moving. I know that Shimla Mirch or green capsicum tends to be a little bit seasonal, so if you're not able to find green capsicum during this lockdown, you can probably find a gobi or a cauliflower, and you could certainly use cauliflower florets instead of that. Moving ahead, I have some potato that is already boiled. Like the onion, the type of potato doesn't matter so much. I'm using some baby potatoes because that's what I had on hand, but you could certainly use larger adult potatoes, I guess. Gonna give things a bit of a toss there in my pan. Also, I want to acknowledge the fact that I'm not using a cutting board, and I probably should. I don't want to encourage cutting potatoes or anything else in your hand. It's not the safest, but there, I did it. What can I say? Next come all of the various spices. There's nothing exotic in here. You probably have all of these spices already. Nevertheless, the spices and their measurements are listed for you down in the description box, so be sure to take a look if you need to. I want to say here that I would have added a tomato if I had one. I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot to pick up tomatoes on my weekly grocery run. All I can say is that I think each of us is probably a little more distracted than usual, and hence the tomatoes were forgotten. But that's okay. We can still add a little bit of moisture into this dish with some water if needed. If things look a little bit dry to you, go ahead, add a few splashes of water, and that will really help not only to steam the vegetables a touch, but it will make this dish a little less dry. So we turned down the heat, we covered it up for a couple of minutes. Now we're going to adjust the salt a little bit. I'm doing this at the very end, not for any particular reason, just that I didn't add any salt before, so we're going to add it now, but if you had added some salt before, that would have been fine too. This is very much a no-fuss dish. So I want to get all of that good flavor at the bottom of my pan. I'm adding a little bit of water just to deglaze it, and I'm just going to move things around again. Make sure I pick up all of that beautiful browning because that's where the flavor is. And that's it. Your dish is ready to be enjoyed. I would recommend eating this alongside roti. It's not like a curry that has a sauce, so I wouldn't recommend eating this with rice. It definitely will go best with roti, and if you need to learn how to make roti, I've already made a video about that, so I will link it in the cards. I really hope that this video was helpful to you. As I mentioned, if you don't have capsicum, use some gobi or cauliflower. You can use matar, which are green peas. You can make it with just the potato. You could probably substitute any other vegetable and it would still be delicious. All right, I really hope that you are staying safe and staying well. You and every single member of your family and all of your loved ones are doing okay during this time. And I will see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.